brief flirtation with the omnibus for travel to and from East Kilbride, we are leaving Blantyre by train and heading in the direction of our next forgotten town.
You're now approaching Cambuslang.
Cambuslang, Lanarkshire, population 29,100, ranked number 366.
We have touched down in Cambuslang, and I have to say, it looks like a very well-heeled place. At least on this side of the railway tracks. Although I can see larger tower blocks on the other side. And I'm sure good folks hereabouts will be very keen to point out they are not in any way a suburb of Glasgow. Although I'm sure the city's economic orbit extends at least this far in terms of people's local business and shopping habits. Nonetheless, the houses are very nice, even if I'm sure a lot of people that inhabit them hop on a train and head into the city on a daily basis. To contextualise, this is the final episode of the series, completing our all Lanarkshire set of 10. There was definitely a concern on my part that my entire plan to stop here before heading back to Glasgow and getting a train south to England was going to flounder on a sequence of rail delays. Whatever happens now, I have managed to get off at Cambuslang. There will be no Bedlington-style leftover town. So, the series will end on a happy-ish note. We are walking along Hamilton Drive. One house here having the windows washed by a fella with a giant mop on a stick with its own water supply. Folks around here can afford to have their windows cleaned by a hired hand. You get the picture. Moving into view here, the onion dome top of the Cambuslang Institute. Rather impressive and proud statement of educational architecture. And the neighbouring 19th century Romanian Pentecostal Church of Bethlehem is an equally impressive, if slightly different, more classically styled piece of sandstone architecture of an altogether redder hue. Possibly wasn't Romanian Pentecostal at time of construction, but obviously fulfilling an important function of faith here today. The question for me now, however, is an altogether more temporal nature. Have I got time for a pint and Wetherspoons? I think the answer is yes. I'll have a pint of the 80 Shillington.
£1.79.
You take the voucher?
Yeah.
It's
£1.29.
So, as we take a seat amongst the lively late afternoon Monday ambience of this impressive Art Deco building, almost certainly once a cinema, I first take an opportunity to check the Scottish Government's own minimum alcohol pricing calculator. I find that this establishment is holding out against the creeping tentacles of fascism by letting this pint go for something rather short of the legally permitted level. Here's to you, Mr. Martin, and in the unlikely event of the dastardly Holyrood dwellers listening to this podcast and using it as an excuse to come after you, I dare say you'll be looking forward to giving them a bloody nose on your big day in court. There certainly seem to be a few in here today who agree with that sentiment. Whether they'd be so interested in me giving a potted rundown on Cambuslan's ecclesiastical history is another matter. But who cares? I'm going to do it anyway. Due to large-scale land ownership by the medieval church, later joined by the Dukes of Hamilton, Cambuslang seems to have been a shoo-in for supplying bishops, cardinals, or high-ranking covenanters, depending on the prevailing mood of the time. And once things settle down into the continuing accepted mould of the established Presbyterian faith, this town drew attention once again through the remarkable events of the Cambuslang Walk and a year or two of divine visitation, mass hysteria, or profound enlightenment, depending on your own point of view, which undeniably dominated proceedings here in the mid-18th century. These days, however, things are kept in check by cheap Belhaven and, in my case, the immediate need to catch a train. Before we go there, we asked local Midge Ure what he thinks of the fact that I've reached the milestone of 980 out of 1,000 top towns in the UK.
This means nothing to me.
Cambuslang, Lanarkshire.